Okay, I'll tell you. Hey, Scott is sharing this. I got to remember to turn this off over on this end. Wait until I get my YouTube
Okay.
muted.
Your YouTube
Uh,
muted.
eh, yeah, well, no, we can start. Anyway, Scott has got this Italian anatomy book that is pretty groovy. There we go. I muted myself. There we go.
Ellis, somebody called me. I have a friend who calls me every Wednesday night, despite me telling him every week I record on Wednesdays, and so
He does,
he
yeah.
he doesn't pay attention to that. He's on YouTube either, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, so uh, so this is an Italian figure drawing book I bought a few years ago. I'm not sure how I stumbled across it, and you could my copy's pretty beat up, but I bought it new. It was pretty expensive at the
Yeah,
time. How to print is really expensive.
that
I have
sort of thing is, what you used to go to the con to pick up. Yeah,
oh,
at
absolutely.
one of those
So
Stuart Eating books or one of those other guys.
I think I paid $60 for it maybe, but and I kind of bought it sight unseen. I read a few reviews. Oh, there was an Italian comic book artist that mentioned it on her blog, and I read about it. And I found a few pictures of the insides of it, and I was like, "This is really, really cool."
Hmm.
But it's Italian. I don't read Italian. Uh, I shop so much I can speak Italian, but that's a different thing. No, that's a rap song. Anyway, uh, the so I have a review of this on my YouTube channel, and today a guy contacted me. He has translated this book into English, and he sent me the text files.
Cool.
I was like,
Wow, what a resource. It's
the
like being a Scott Adams type guy saying, "Someone check me on that," and then you're able to get data because you've got a big enough audience that they.
oh my, I know. In fact, that's one of the I was late, and one of the things I sent him a message because he's missing one of the chapters or one of the lessons, and
Uh huh.
unfortunately, it's on the forearm, which I think would be very interesting. I need to figure out which. Oh, it's this chapter right here.
Uh huh.
So so we've kind of got. It's only 3 pages. I'm gonna send him somehow. I'm gonna make copies of this if I can do it without destroying my book. At this point, though, I mean the binding is broke. I was carrying this in my backpack to work every day and reading it at lunchtime. I don't. I'm kind of like you. I don't care. To me, books like this are made to be destroyed.
Sure.
You know. You know.
Well, yeah. I
I'm.
mean, it's
And it's sewn, so the pages probably aren't going to come out. But
nah. Well,
yeah.
if are you thinking about a flatbed scan? You've got plenty of stuff to scan it with, just like your phone and stuff.
Oh, that's probably what I'll do is just hold it flat
Hmm.
and take good pictures of the phone and then send them to him.
Sure.
Uh, yeah, because my thing was like, hey, if you'll translate that missing chapter, I'll be happy to send it. Now, I think he's put them online as bootleg copies. I don't care
Uh
about
huh.
that. I mean, sorry. I just want that. His translation. I was looking at it, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is
He
so
knows what he's doing, huh? Well, a resource like that, I imagine that thing is probably almost public domain. It's been around probably for a while, I would think.
no, I mean, it's
Not
not
really?
out. No, it's just out of print for some reason. But Wolf 98. Oh, this edition was 2015. So this copy is not very old. There's
Hmm.
a sequel to it, but it's not even the sequel. I think is long out of print for some reason. But this is a great anatomy book. I mean, you can
Go ahead and try to pronounce that name.
Strutura Umo
Hmm. Okay.
Manual de Anatomia Artistica. Anyway, so
Artistica. Yeah.
that was my big deal today, man. I mean, but look at these drawings though, man. I mean, it's great stuff. It's just translating it with the phone. It was taking forever, but I got pretty far through it, and then I got something happened, and I started. Oh, I know what it was. I was waiting for a script, and then I got a script, but I mean, this is.
I had a little project like that at one time. I gave up on it after a page, probably. I was kind of determined to translate my Dobra by what's that artist's name? I'll look him up real quick. Dobra, and it's about a Mexican wrestler.
Oh yeah,
and it's. Oh, did you hear about? I should have made that my headline so I'd draw a lot of traffic. Bill Cosby's sentencing. Yeah, that's going to be totally overturned because apparently somebody not only did the agreement not be honored, he spent 2 years in jail. The agreement was totally bogusly not honored, and Charles Burns is who it's by. Yeah. So anyway, I've got a Spanish version and an English version. I was just going to, compare and contrast and go all the way through those two books and maybe teach myself some Spanish. But haven't ever really. It's like all of my projects for myself. I never follow through completely.
Well, the Cosby thing. I mean, it was I mean, I'm not going to comment on whether because I'll be honest, I don't know enough about the case to even.
I honestly think he got zapped because he became he just nudged his way over slightly on the side of being conservative, but it was on a topic that was enough of a wedge issue that they were too defensive about that they came after him. And all he was saying is that, hey, there's some blame to go around, and I think that kind of doomed him. You can't say that if you're totally into victim status. You don't want anybody out there that's got credibility saying, yeah, you're not that big a victim.
Well, here's the thing. The truth is, excuse me. Got a horse all of a sudden. The truth is, just because somebody regrets sex afterwards doesn't mean they didn't agree to it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's probably an awful lot of sex. As a matter of fact, it'd probably be scary the proportion of regretted sex compared. You always hear that kind of like jokey comment that even bad sex is still sex, but that's kind of maybe true, but you can.
Well,
you can pass on some of that bad sex pretty easy.
Oh, sure. No, the problem is in our society, we, in more, we'll say puritanical societies or however you want to think about it, sex was treated with a reverence that we don't have, and so when you're just, hey, I'm going to go out and do whatever, whenever.
Yeah.
Hey, better regret some of it. It seems like to me.
Mm-hmm. And and he's coming off that era where Hugh Hefner's is cheerleading all that, and it's like everybody is going to the Playboy Mansion and saying, "Yeah, this is the way it ought to be," and it was always a little bit of nonsense, Sure. Hey, Gene Hall has dropped in. Hi, fellas.
And by the way, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I think we're make me sound like a Puritan, but I believe as a society we treat sex way too lightly, and it makes me glad I don't have kids, especially daughters.
Oh yeah, a big part of the world. Even though I heard a guy. That gets in trouble on YouTube all the time. He's got a brother that looks just like him. He has something called Dark Horse Podcast, and I can't think of his name. So anyway, Dark Horse podcast. He was talking about the biblical change done to that it wasn't David that met Goliath. I don't know why that was an important detail to him,
What?
but he mentioned it
What?
all the way through. Well, he was saying that it evolved, that he was, but that wasn't the point of his story. It was just that he was in his own David and Goliath battle with Google, and he was. I mean, that's interesting to you. I'll send you the link to that so you can listen to him talk about that. But it's pretty interesting. But he's talking about his fight with Google is based on them refusing to let there be a discussion about things that he absolutely has expertise in, and so they're not letting his expertise come through. And it's like, who? Hey, I retweeted your panels, and I noticed you had 6 people that had likes on it. That's pretty good for Tumblr anymore, since that's dumb or dead.
Oh my God. That's amazing, considering was it these 2 panels, the fighting panels?
Yeah. Those fighting panels you posted, and I reposted it, and you got 6 hits.
Well, that's amazing, because I'm not on Twitter hardly. I mean, I am, but only.
Well, I called it retweeting. I redid whatever Tumblr does. I send it upstream from Tumblr. Yeah.
That works. Yeah, I was going to say, we're off Twitter. So here's my pages. I want to show you my pages. I don't know if you can see this.
Those are looking great. This is some of your best work. This may get you a job you can't handle.
Hey, so here's page 1. I've gone in and made some changes. I did some background stuff. I know you're anti-busy background, but I'm like, I got to do something to blow people away.
Well, we're still talking Photoshop, colorist. Anything can go on with that background. It could be dropped down to 10% on whatever. And all of a sudden, something I'm calling busy can become something that's just an excellent fill on the background, So, information, as long as the information's accurate and measured right, there's no reason to say that busyness. And again, you go back to John Byrne. You're doing a pretty good job of emulating a Byrne feel there. Very good.
Yeah. This is page 2. And then now the top 2 panels are going to be replaced, because I told you after I got them drawn, I thought, man, that's just real plain looking.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of upped I tried to make it more perpendicular to the picture plane, I guess is a good way to describe it. So when I start them, I'll replace this with that. And then I got all this. I know you said you didn't like the guy back there, but I think it works for continuity.
Well, I mean, if I wanted to do something, I don't know. I don't want to tell you any changes to make. I'd make that hand bigger, and that the far right, just give yourself a Kirby moment there and get that hand as big as a head.
I thought about that. That may be, I don't know.
And mercilessly crop it. If it ends up going way off page, it's already cropped.
Just go off page.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna go get. Go ahead, and tell everybody about what you're up to. I gotta go grab the rest of my coffee. I don't want it to go to waste. Yeah. Okay. You were talking to me though. I realized as I started talking about that podcast that I didn't want to talk about the guy's fight with Google. I wanted to talk about something entirely different that podcast was about, and then I forgot what it was that I wanted to mention. And then it was like, well, there's no point in trying to wing it and act like I want to talk about this guy's fight with Google. So I changed the subject. Okay, I'll be right back. It won't take me a second.
So Ellis is going kind of something that I've been working on for myself. And if you watch this, you probably see me working on it, because I have been done with my comic book for several months. It's at the Colors. In fact, I sent off a large check to the Colors today. So in the meantime, to keep my chops up, and I'm just I've had so many comic projects that have just grenaded on me, either before they got published or they got published and didn't do anything. So to hedge my bets, I'm drawing this thing, and I'm gonna keep working on it, even though I've got 4 pages mapped out, and so or thumbnailed out. And so my idea is draw the 4. I'll see how they look, and if I'm very happy with them, I may put them on social media and send them out to see if I get any interest in, just kind of a, hey, I'm looking for, my next project. This is kind of what I'm working on. This is how I'm working. Are you interested? If anybody's interested, shoot me an email or whatever. Anyway, this is 3 that I'm working on. So I've got the perspective grids, and I've got the panels laid out. I just need to rough them in. But this is my thumbnails for 3.
Cool.
Hey,
Ellis, that grid looks really. That's the way to start, man. Get it solid. That'll help you measure a lot. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, and I have the grid. I have a device.
You're groovy. Everything you've learned from John Byrne, you're using it.
Well,
yeah.
What's funny is I had one of these. Someone so at work, my company bought another business, and it was an energy company. Well, what we bought is a bunch of their equipment, all their art supplies, and so I got this thing because we could.
You know what, Scott?
Got it, and
You're glitching, man. And now you're black screen.
Hang on.
Ooh, you just made headphones a bad idea there with whatever you just did. I'm watching a documentary on Raymond Carver, the writer, who I've read some of. I know I read probably one of his collections of short stories. And it comes with a DVD of Robert Altman's Shortcuts, which is a interesting movie. It's interesting how much you can deviate from a written source that is beloved and revered, and then have people just as crazy about the movie that deviates so much and combines characters. I think there's an appreciation when someone like Altman gets it right, and it becomes a movie versus a, literary thing. It's like, wow, that's as well pulled off as the book.
Okay. Am I back?
You are back. What was? Yeah, you are back. What's up?
Okay. I hit the button on the side of my phone when I was trying to adjust the camera. Sorry about that. So it basically threw me out of StreamYard, sort of.
Okay. Well, that's all right. I've done, that was my standard thing every time I tried to get together with people on streaming. I would always mess something up.
Anyway,
it's easy to do.
So my company bought this, I think it's an oil company or whatever. And we got all the supplies from their drafting company, or their drafting room, came to the art department, and nobody wanted this stuff. And somebody said, "We're going to throw this away. Do you want it?" And I go, "I don't really know what it is, but
don't throw it away."
And they go, "It looks like something." And I go, "Okay." So I took it. Well, then I found out it's what John Byrne uses to draw his perspective grids.
How much does it sell for on
his forum?
How much does it sell for on eBay to get one?
I haven't one lately, but new. They're about $800.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was it wasn't just something that somebody should have in the dumpster,
Yeah, I had to buy these paddles. these ruler things. I had to buy new ones, and they were kind of expensive.
Hmm.
I mean, I say expensive. They were like $50 for a pair of them. But I mean, at the time, this was like in the mid '90s, so $50 was a lot
Yeah.
more back then than it is now. But anyway, that's what I use for my perspective grids. So anyway,
Well, look, it looks like it.
hey, Ellis,
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just I was going to talk about. Are you going to meet me Friday downtown? Still?
Oh, this Friday? I thought that was
this Friday.
I thought that was still a week away. I thought it was like the 9th or something.
No.
Okay.
Nope. I'm off work.
Okay. Yeah, I'll come down Friday. We've been having a lot of rain. We might get rained out.
Yeah. Well, it's supposed to. There's a slight chance of rain.
Okay. Well, around here, if you get a slight chance of rain, it's a good chance you'll be able to walk through the drops. I mean, it'll stop at some point. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was supposed to rain this afternoon, but it never did.
Well, it rained good here for just a few
minutes
minutes ago.
Oh, did it? Oh, we didn't rain up here.
Yeah, you know.
I'm going to meet me.
When do I want to meet you? When do you get off?
What time? Well, I'm not working.
Oh, you're not working at all, so you can get there as early as you wanted to. Does Michelle go to work now on Fridays or what?
Yeah, in the office, and she'll be there, but she's not off. She's working.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just wondering if we can have that parking.
Yes,
okay. That's cool. That's always good.
We have
that little extra bonus.
Does 8 work for you, or is that too early?
8 is fine. I can do that.
Okay, I'll meet you there. 8. Dave may join us.
That'll be fun.
I told him that we might do a podcast. I think he's going to bring something where we can. So we may record a podcast while we're out, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that sounds fun. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured you'd dig it. Anyway, okay, I had to get that bit of business out of the way.
Sure. Yeah, we can do that this Friday.
Yeah. This.
My new coffee cup just arrived, and what's irritating is on the bottom of it, it's got some coffee grounds. And the only reason I bought a new glass coffee cup is so that it wouldn't slip grounds into my coffee. And here. I've discovered, it must have been a flaw in my system because I let it do it to me.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Just to add some flavor and texture.
This week, yeah. Well, I refuse to drink the last little bit of most pots of coffee just because of that.
Yeah.
And I bought some coffee somewhere the other day, and I got down to the end and got a mouthful of grounds. I was so annoyed. I mean, at the house is one thing, but man, if you're paying for it, you expect it to be ground free.
Yeah, you ought to get some good coffee if you're paying for it.
Exactly.
I'm not paying by the ounce like that. That's the deal. I didn't realize this is half a cup of coffee compared to what I'm used to too. I have to leave it on the burner and go back for, like I did, seconds.
At work just this week they brought the coffee back. I was so happy because I've been lugging a thermos to work every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And I drink more when I bring it because I bring a big thermos full.
Yeah. You don't want it to go to waste. Yeah.
Yeah. I just get it kind of sip. That's a big cup, but I kind of sip on it, and then when it's done, I'll drink water, and then if I feel like it in the afternoon, I'll get another cup.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, what'd you do today?
I did a couple of things. I've been lately. I researched on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure I can change my door handle on my Toyota. It makes it pretty clear that it's just, popping a few things off and getting at it. And, I'm that competent. I can do that. So I'll do that. And what else did I do that was kind of a handyman thing? Oh, I got a new printer. It's a pretty it's a mediocrity, but it's fine. And there's in some things I like about it. It's got a smaller footprint. It's lighter and smaller in general, and it's kind of an off brand. But I just couldn't live without a printer to let me play around with scale here and there on getting ready for a painting or something.
Oh yeah.
Do a
I've got a
rough,
big
blow it
one. My
up,
printer-
do something. Go ahead.
Yeah, my 11x17, and I had a scare a while back because it wasn't printing,
Hmm.
and I was like, oh gosh, it's 11x17 printer scanner combo, which is why I got it. Really, I didn't really think I'd use the printer that much, but I use it a lot, and the scare, was like, oh my gosh, and it luckily I was able to restart it a few times to get it back to life, but it was like I said, it kind of startled me. It's like, oh no,
Yeah,
I lose this, and
I must have tried to bring my other one back to life 10 times, hooking it up, doing that, turn it on and off. But that's all, that's all the IT I've got in me usually. And plus
Clean
checking every
run
possible
clean.
port on it that it might be causing any sort of problem. And I looked at it inside and out.
Yeah,
It was just done.
yeah. At work, people are always talking about, oh, we're going to go paperless, and I'm like, nah, we're not going paperless.
Yeah, you always think you
'Cause
are. You need to maybe have something out in printed format. You might need a little something like that. You're always going to need to print something.
Yeah, that's my theory too. You always need to print something.
Oh, Barry was sharing something with me. It takes me a second to catch on to the fact that he's only sharing it with me, but he's apparently enthusiastic enough about that Eric Powell Geen book that he shared me some stuff with me. He was thinking that he was looking at Powell's work on that cover, and it's so weird to think that I knew from looking at that cover. I said that cover has been done exactly in the past, and there's no way in the world Eric Powell would have just copied that down to the last line and use that as his cover. And sure enough, you look at the bottom of the thing, and it's William Stout back in 1978, and it showed up.
Oh.
It was on something called Weird Trips or something like that, and so whatever. It's like I got the Heritage Auction high res version of it, which is kind of cool. It's got these yellow marks all over it from where the Zipatone is turned yellow, and I'm thinking it's Zipatone because if it's craft tint, it's some wacky looking craft tint. I mean, they've got things that you probably would find an easier time in finding it in Zipatone. But it's so amazing to look at and say, man, well, yeah, Barry brought that up. It's like a guy could do that in about 10 minutes in Photoshop, and it probably took him, a couple of days to get all the cuts done in Zipatone. Hola, let's see what Fly Fox Pro wants. He's been reading Fault Lines by Body Bauckham. Great read about critical race theory. Yeah, that critical race theory has, and that's what irritates me about something like that, because they've set the table again for what is being discussed. It's like, okay, now everybody has to come out of the woodwork, fight with the idea of being accused of being racist because you've got to do this and that. And it's like, who gets to set the table for all this crap all the time, all the divisive crap that is always strategic? It just annoys the hell out of me that something like critical race theory even has to be a battleground.
Oh, what's amazing is my church, not my individual church, but my denomination. There's people are just embracing that, and I have a feeling that people in my church would embrace it. But it's like, if I go to church, and the default is I'm evil because I'm white, then I don't think I'm going to be. That's not. I mean, I'm not a racist. I don't. But don't tell me that I'm horrible because I'm white, which seems to be the thrust of what I'm from people. Not.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like you shouldn't even have to argue about that. I also read Michael Knowles' book, Speechless. I mean, we've all got, you could, in terms of like horrific stuff, everybody can make their own little list and cross-check it against who did the most horrific stuff. But when you get down to horrific, it's going to have so much similar that you're just going to have to say the human soul can, get as dark as it gets. You can't.
Oh yeah,
you can't.
Mankind
worry about it. Yeah. Oh yeah, we're all depraved, and you gotta. I was watching these Bosch detective shows, and they had this great line where Bosch says, "Everybody, he learned this at the school that brought him up, the boarding school, not boarding school, the orphanage basically that brought him up, that everybody's got 2 dogs in them, and you've got to pick which dog to feed in terms of like how you turn out, and that dark dog, that evil dog, if you feed that, that's what you'll be, And I thought that was a pretty good little analogy kind of thing, how you feed yourself, that is the way you are. You'll bring up to somebody and.
Well, I talked earlier that we were talking about the Bill Cosby thing, and we want to have this society where everybody can do whatever they want, which is fine, but there are repercussions to some of that. If you if you feel your, I mean, who in their right mind? I mean, we live in a violent society because people are desensitized to violence, and I'm not talking about just necessarily video games and stuff, but just people are just kind of taught, hey, you got to stand up for yourself. So if somebody honks at you on the highway, well, why you let them do that? You got to go kill that guy.
Yeah. You can't do that.
People are crazy anymore, and that
is about some of this stuff where people. Oh, that you know what? The only reason I brought that guy up about David and Goliath and all that was he had a statistic that supposedly at the time of David and Goliath, we had exactly 1% of the people on earth that we have right now. Can you imagine that as a stat that I don't know if it's true or not. This guy's super intelligent. That may in fact be true, that we have had 1% back in biblical times of the people that are on this planet right now. Amazing. It would almost turn you into a Greenpeace guy to say, we got to fight that. We got to do something about that.
Yeah, that was the thing when I was a kid, is they always talked about exploding population.
Yeah. And it did explode. It's exploding still because it's, what is it? What do you call that? Geometric? It's got no other way to go but up until the Chinese figure out the virus that works next time.
They're working
the
on
one that really thins it all out, so they can go to Africa and get all those rare earths without having to deal with anybody,
it.
shooting at them.
You are going to get our YouTube channel or your YouTube channel
Yeah,
censored.
you're right. I will. And speaking of canceled YouTube channels, I'm on Doug's email list in terms of like his people. He tries to redirect all his canceled channels, stay ahead of them. They've just taken everything off, including his little benign little art channel. So he's been completely canceled. So he has no more YouTube presence.
I wonder if he has any kind of legal recourse against that.
Well, yeah. That's again the David and Goliath. Feel free, come at us. Come back to us when you get some real power. Yeah.
Yeah, but because isn't YouTube owned by Google?
Yes. Yeah. There's no bottom to their pockets. It's like come ahead.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. And the fact that we have zero from what used to be considered the liberal side, it's kind of what's annoying is that this is like always been the strategy. It's like complain every inch of the way about everything that you are able to frame as an attack on decency from your vantage point. And then when you actually get these huge, awful attacks on decency, you just clam up. It's on your side. It's your side that's benefiting. So you just clam up. And the guilt by omission on that sort of philosophy, it'd be typical commie strategy. That's what you do, man. You go all out when you're on top.
Well, I mean, it's just like the big deal now is to push to end the filibuster, but it's like, wow, they got rid of
that's the reason that is part of the full court press on that. Get rid of the filibuster so nothing stands in our way. Yeah.
They got rid of the filibuster for judges,
mm-hmm.
and they were told this will come back to haunt you.
Yep.
It did. That's how Trump got in.
Yeah, that's how he got in all his picks. That's right. Replaced Ruth Bader Ginsburg. That must be the high point of the Trump hate. I mean, it's hard to pick the point, but that's probably the high point.
I guess I don't follow Supreme Court judges like a groupie or whatever, but it's amazing to me how revered she is, and I'm not really sure why. It
is hard to know. I've got I'll show what I've been reading in reaction to Flyfox Pro. This is Aristotle's Poetics, and it's got 1/3 of it is introduction, and 1/3 of it is bibliography. So I'm just going to read the 1/3 of it that Aristotle wrote. So I've got, even though it's a skinny book, I only have to read 1/3 of it, and I'll have taken it in. But the reason I'm reading it, there's a guy that came on with a list of 5 books to read if you want to write better screenplays. And I'm going to read this. And he also recommended one with a psychology angle, and I'm getting that through the interlibrary loan. And if I like that well enough, I'll just buy it. But, I'm going to sample it, hopefully, when I get it through the interlibrary. And I finished this baby, finally. I didn't even realize I'd stopped halfway through it. And I finished it, and it's, it's a gorgeous little funny adventure. And it pays off in a great little way, and it's very intelligent in terms of like weaving in the idea of this came from a video game, and it's kind of fun that way.
That's funny. It took YouTube a second to catch up. I was watching on the TV,
Uh-huh.
and I realized what you had.
Yeah. Let's see what I finished reading Fault Lines. Okay, yeah. That's oh, I also read Michael Knowles' book Speechless. Oh yeah. We had to read Goldman's book when I took screenwriting. Now when you say Goldman's book, is that the I know which one you're referring to, I think. It's not Nobody Knows Anything or anything like that, is it? It is an actual book on screenwriting. I'm not sure. He may reply, Fox. Anyway, I finished off this book, The Flash, this big old volume. I didn't notice until I started on it that it's actually the second volume of all these stories. But again,
the essential.
It's Showcase, DC Showcase, and it's just so I can't say I read it because I'm reading like every third word balloon or whatever. I'm not. It's obviously I can tell the story that's going on just visually, but so I didn't read it that closely. But boy, I got a lesson in how to work smart, I would call it, doing comic panels. It's don't keep the important thing up front and keep it simple.
That's Infantino, right?
Yeah, Carmine Infantino. Yeah, Adventures in the Screen Trade. Yeah. I think I've read that. And then I got these at Walmart. Have you what these the Red Rooster? Oh, Adventures in the Screen Trade. You got that? I'm not sure I do.
I bought the first issue of Red Rooster.
Mm-hmm. This is apparently the third one.
First issue.
So,
oh yeah.
So I've got a skipped issue, but this is also the third one, and this is by a guy. I like his art quite a bit. He's pretty genius art. Kelsey Shannon, and
oh yeah, I've met him years ago at San Diego.
Yeah, he seems like he'd be pretty easy to talk to. He's got quite a web presence. Go ahead.
Our friend Mario and our friend Mario White.
Uh-huh.
Apparently he knows Kelsey because they worked together on some comic book, and Mario kind of introduced me to him at San Diego one year.
Mm-hmm.
So,
then it's got
always makes a difference. Know somebody.
It's got a little extra feature on the back. I haven't dug in too deeply, but when I saw it, I said, wow, that's cool. That's like the old gold key artwork or Dan Panasarian kind of looking style. Dig that. But it does remind me a lot of the old guys that used to do like Turok and stuff like that. And
oh yeah.
Have you ever run across Wally Wood's Total War that was done for Gold Key or Dell?
No, I don't think I have. That doesn't sound familiar.
I've never seen any of those these Allegiant books at Walmart. I imagine it's dependent on each Walmart. They're over by where the posters are for video games and other kind of like, that sort of stuff. It's not necessarily by the magazines. It's off in its own little world. And it's an end cap. That's what their deal, I guess, is. Like, we'll send you an end cap. Please put it out for us or something.
At my Walmart, they're in with the books.
Oh, they are in with the books.
It's the end cap thing, but it's not on the end cap.
Okay, yeah, it's not on the end. Yeah, well, yeah, you call something an end cap. It doesn't have to sit there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the end cap as such. It's on that. It's on one end of the book aisle, which also is the magazine aisle at my Walmart. Are you going to the Walmart on 240?
Yeah, over there by the
okay
Amazon megalith.
Oh. Is it by Santa Fe? Is it east?
I'm thinking right. I'm calling it 249. I'm on the 44 headed for the turnpike or the turnpike. The one out there toward 104th. It's right on 104th, right by the Amazon Prime thing. Across from that.
Okay, I haven't been to that. I haven't been to that one.
Yeah, that's where I go to my park walk, my daily park walk
Oh, that's right.
appointment at what's it called? I should know that. I also promised in my headline that I'd show a memory trick. Like as I try to retrieve the name of the park I walk out every day.
Red Wine, Early Wine Park.
Early Wine, that's right. That is correct. Okay, well, this semi works. Take anything you want to remember. I saw this, I realized all of a sudden, YouTube has got the knowledge on everything, right? Of everybody sharing everything they know. So I typed in memory tricks for actors. And sure enough, actors, they've got to go into these auditions and they can walk around with their typewriters, type sheets and look at it back and forth, or they can maybe nail it by, having it memorized before they go in. And so what you do is like better to memorize if you can pull that off. I find that quite impressive to memorize anything. Supposedly John Carradine could do it, but you take a big line of text, and what you do is you take another piece of paper, and every first word, you write that first word, and it's amazing how much your retrieval works after reading it aloud a couple of times, and then you look at that first letter. Now, not first word, first letter. You can retrieve it. It's pretty amazing. And then you do that, and I think that extra task of making that back into a word commits it in a weird kind of way. And I was able to do it with a few things. I'm not very good at it, but it's like I'm going to keep working at it because there's, a couple things I'd like to have kind of like memorized and just, nail it up in my head really hard, Like there's a couple of things,
It's pouring over here, by the way.
Oh, it is. It started raining good, huh?
Yeah. I saw my wife from my window. I could see my wife walking the dog, and I heard thunder. And then about the time she come back in, it was raining out there.
Just made it. That's pretty amazing. Now, did you get all that visual down from that page you had just gridded out? Have you already done all that? Yeah. Wow, that's amazing, Scott. You are. Yeah. You may need to slow down. No, I'm kidding. That's amazing. I can't believe you filled it up with that much.
Well, I didn't. I thought it took me longer than it should have. It's taken me,
30 minutes
to get this. Yeah, 30 minutes, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, this is, I'm on track.
Well, I mean, it is just outlines, I guess, but yeah, I mean, it's quick. I mean, it's pretty amazing. And of course, you got your thumbnails to go by too. I guess it shouldn't be all that. And of course, I'm talking about guys. You're looking at how, Doug used to do a podcast per page. He'd have people hanging around long enough while he finished a page. I mean,
yeah. I mean, my goal, Ellis, out of all this, my goal is if I could get a competent inker. I honestly think that I could do like a regular comic series at night. I mean, I'd be busy. I wouldn't be able to do anything during the week, but I mean, Marvel is last I heard they were allowing six weeks for an issue. And I think if I didn't have to it, I could, and I was, properly motivated. I think I could do an issue in 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to try. That's the goal is to, but I mean it's so frustrating because the industry is not in the place where I'd want to be part of it necessarily. And I know if I were to ever break into comics,
Yeah, but the industry is such a multi-headed thing right now. There's no reason to not consider yourself in the industry right now because you can do anything you wanted to do. You are in it. You're with a guy that's the biggest. What they're connected to? What publishing giant? I keep forgetting that.
Random House distributing their books.
Source Point. Yeah, that thing is like. And they've got some other.
It's the same people that Marvel signed a deal with.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows?
So you're in. I mean, there is no breaking in for you. You're in.
I meant like on a regular monthly kind of book.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm so in that today I sent a check off to the colorist for $1,100 for issue 3. So,
yeah. See, I couldn't afford that sort of entrepreneurial pursuit. Yeah.
Well, I'm fortunate in a lot of ways, but I mean, the writer had paid for the first 2, and I told him I would pitch in, and he
your turn. Okay.
He was going to pay for all of it, but then he had the COVID. He didn't make any money at cons last year. He was going to use his con money to pay for our coloring. And I said, well, I can help you, and I mean, I don't mind. If the book makes money, I'll get my money back. If it doesn't make money, then.
Well, it strikes me that the cons are just about. I don't think San Diego Comic-Con can stand it. I think they'll have to have one. I don't think they'll cancel again.
Oh, York already sent out invitations for like pro badges. I got mine the other day, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah, it's going to happen, and I want that to be well covered because it's got to think about the hysteria when it was first sweeping through the land, and you got to understand that being forced to go single file 6 feet apart into a Walmart was the initial thing, followed by what we do nowadays with it, geometrically being that much more established. You can't have those two things side by side and stay, as a rational argument. We have more COVID being passed around than you ever could have had in that initial burst. And we had complete hysteria and damage being done to the country. And it's like, we've got to do something about the mind control that goes on around these sorts of issues, because the next big bit of nonsense will be a climate shutdown. They'll sell it. They will sell some sort of hysteria.
We can't. Oh, they're yeah. Don't think all this heat wave and sand wherever is,
Yeah, it's like, okay, everybody, here in LA, you will
go inside.
You'll get your tag for when you can draw. Of course, controls. I mean, anybody can get used to anything if they decide to have limit people's freedom and let people only drive every other day in LA. That would do something. Federal holidays are fantastic to hit the highways on going to work doing the commute, because man, it was great seeing half the people not on the road.
Oh, dude, I wouldn't live in LA. You couldn't pay me to live in California.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I love California, dude. I think San Diego is one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Well, the climate, I mean, San Diego is
Oh
awesome,
yeah.
but
Yeah, LA
no
is a
way.
little crazier. I never thought I'd live there either, but I kind of appreciated it when I did. I lived right in the semi heart of it. I lived in Culver City. Well, it's not really the total heart of it, but it's it's close enough. I mean, that's what I love about Bosch. Man, they shoot LA up in a way I haven't seen LA shot since I watched Nightcrawler. That they
No, I was
shot
gonna say Nightcrawler.
Yeah, they shot LA up good and Nightcrawler really good. But
Lake.
what's that?
I said Under the Silver
Oh
Lake.
yeah, that's also good. That's pretty good too. But it doesn't go for location shooting that much much as
Nah,
something like a Bosch does or whatever.
I like that movie, by the way. I think you turned me onto it.
Did I do it? Yeah, I probably maybe I may have sent an email out that had a link to Red Letter Media's review of it. Maybe that was it, because the Red Letter Media review of it made me watch it. It's like they really liked it, and I thought, well, these guys they aren't pushovers in terms of like what they like. So check it out.
Weird little movie.
Yeah. It's got
And
the essential. It keeps you wanting to know what in the world. Where is this going?
Yeah, now it ends on a very weird note, but
yeah. Where is this going, and how is it going to pay off?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't they end up out in the middle of a lake
with
with some girl he's been pursuing? And yeah, I got to watch that again. Yeah. It's like
still on Prime, dude.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
If I saw the DVD cheap or Blu-ray, I'd probably pick it up. But it'd have to be
cheap.
Because I feel like it's one of the things that 10 years from now I may want to watch it and it not be available.
Yeah. There are these things that surprise you. It's like, where is this? I can't find it. It's out of print.
I watched the library system. Well, Michelle and I were at a lighting convention. My wife is an electrical engineer she's a lighting consultant, or she's a lighting designer. And we went to a lighting convention, and it was in Minneapolis, and it was freezing cold. And we walked to a place that was like a bar that showed movies, and they showed a movie called The City Dark about light pollution.
Mm-hmm.
It's a phenomenal movie. And the library had it, and so I checked it out, and I've watched it once or twice, but it was on Amazon to purchase, and it's gone off Amazon. I haven't seen it on Amazon in years. I saw that Half Price Books had a copy, and I didn't pick it up. It's a little expensive, and it's like, man, I wish I'd have bought that. Just one of those kind of deals.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to make your move on some of this stuff if you like it well enough to.
Documentary. I should have known that that wouldn't be. I think Under the Silver Lake it's a movie, so it'll probably be available.
Yeah.
But I tell you another movie that I watched through my phone. I had HBO Plus, which somehow now I don't have. I don't understand that, but now I don't have it. But I had it for a little bit, and I finished The Sopranos, and I watched that New Mutants movie, and it gets crapped on, but I really liked it. And it's one of those, man, if I see this on Black Friday for a decent price, I'm going to pick it up. It was just that weird.
Here's my go-to bookmark. I use my Mouse of Mike Titan. He sent out these really nice, thick bookmarks.
Got to rip those library copies. Ellis.
Yeah, that's my pirate action. As a matter of fact, I'm sitting here with this. I was praising that Robert Altman Shortcuts, but I'll get around to watching that when I feel like it, because I've got my 3 gig copy sitting on my hard drive. And turn me in right now to the Altman estate. What?
No. I'll send you a link to that movie I want. You can check it out and burn it for me.
Okay, yeah, I could. I'll do that for you. But do it tonight. I'll bring a thumb drive.
Thanks.
I'll bring a thumb drive with it on it.
Well, you have to get it
Yep,
from the library.
there's guys like me that may be boomers, but boy, you talk about a free lunch, and I'm there in terms of like having to learn some sort of tech. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, well, hey, dude, it's been an hour. You about ready?
Oh, it is. Okay. Yeah, it is time, huh? Okay. Well, thanks everybody, Fly Fox and Gene Hole when he showed up and said hi. Yeah, always nice to see you. Go ahead.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us. I appreciate it, and thanks for all their support for sure.
Yeah, you got Scott really motivated. He filled up a whole page. Look at that. Wow. Pretty crazy.
Nothing.
Yeah. I don't know. That's pretty involved. That's pretty good. Adios, says Fly Fox. Okay, we're ending.
Okay.
I just